Welcome back to LinkU Plus, everyone. On this channel, I'm 100%ing Breath of the Wild by a bit every day until Tears of the Kingdom comes out, which is today. In 102 days, we're getting so close to the 100-day countdown. I'm very excited for it. Recently, in the comment sections of a lot of these videos, because obviously I'm essentially just following the 100% speedrun route as I collect all of these Koroks. People have been asking for that specific route so they could potentially follow it themselves to get 100% themselves before Tears of the Kingdom comes out. First of all, that route will be linked in this video's description or in the pinned comment. You'll find it in one of these places. And second of all, in today's video, I kind of wanted to explain you how the 100% speedrun works in the first place. Why does the speedrun do the things it does? Why is that the most efficient and best way to actually 100% the game? I thought some of you might be interested in it. Keep in mind, the original speedrun route will have a bunch of glitches that are not necessarily mandatory to complete 100% in Breath of the Wild. I will explain which of these glitches they are and what they actually do when it comes to improving the speed of completing the goal. But yeah, so let's get started. 100% Breath of the Wild. The speedrun route has the following goals. You want to achieve 100% map completion, just like I do in the bottom left corner here. You want to additionally complete every single quest in the game. So basically the adventure log. All of the main quests, shrine quests, side quests, and memories. You want to also get all of the game's key items. If you have every single key item, you have a full page plus a singular item on the right. This includes Hestu's gift, the champion powers, all of the exclusive horse minigame saddles, also the saddle from Kilton, the Kilton medals, which means you also have to defeat all the minigames. Mini bosses. And that is pretty much the main gist. All quests, 100% map completion, all key items, and all key items also includes doing stuff like all of the Kilton medals, aka all of the mini bosses. Now, the 100% speedrun starts like every speedrun in Breath of the Wild. You have to complete the Great Plateau in order to get the paraglider and then leave. And in a 100% speedrun, surprisingly, while you are on the Great Plateau, you basically just care about completing the shrines. You don't care about getting any Korok seeds, etc. Because it will be faster to get these Korok seeds later on when you have more items like the paraglider itself, infinite fairies, aka 999 fairies, so you can wind bomb everywhere without having to care. Plus, especially speed food. The speedrun cooks a specific speed food, I will talk about this in a little bit, that allows you to constantly run super quickly. So you finish the Great Plateau, you get the paraglider, then you additionally get 4 more shrines. The reason you get 4 more shrines is because when you do the item duplication, which is the early game, most important part of the early game in 100%, also this Korok is a little annoying actually sometimes. The rock just rolls back down. This is actually one of the Koroks that's much easier to do with speed food because you can kind of just like run up the slope. But I guess we just have to get lucky. Excuse me. So you get 4 additional shrines because after the Great Plateau you've completed 4 shrines, but you want 8 spirit orbs because you need specifically 8 spirit orbs to duplicate them to then get basically as much hearts and especially stamina as you want. So the entire early game is essentially all about setting yourself up to complete the game fast. Now, if you don't know or don't want to know item duplication glitch, the IST glitch that I always talk about, which is pretty hard to learn. You don't have to technically worry about this. I would still follow the route. But this is what the speedrun is all about. Oh, thank God. You complete the extra 4 shrines and you go around the kingdom a little bit, especially places like Hyrule Castle where you pick up some ancient arrows. You just need like any ancient arrow at all to have them in your inventory to be able to duplicate them. And all of the specific items you need in the speedrun to upgrade specific armor pieces later on. And stuff like rush rooms. Rush rooms is always a good example. You need 55 rush rooms for one specific quest, so you get like 1 rush room to be able to duplicate them, and then 1 fairy to be able to duplicate it. And then you also go ahead and go to Farosh, the dragon, to get a dragon horn. Using a dragon horn in a specific recipe, so use a dragon horn and then, for example, 4 fleet lotus seeds, like these, will... Oh, actually, I have a Dragon Fang here, which doesn't give quite the same effect, but I could technically show it off that way. If you use a Dragon Horn and 4 Lotus Seeds, you get a level 3 speed potion that's lasts 30 minutes long. Once you have that and all of the items, you do this very intricate glitch setup and duplicate the items you need. You end up with like 999 fairies, 999 ancient cores for quests, and also to sell them to get a bunch of money, to buy all of the compendium pictures later, because the compendium envelope is one of the key items. You get 999 mushrooms to do the quest quickly. You get you duplicate that speed food I just talked about, so you have basically 999 times you have 999 basically servings of that 30-minute speed food. So the entire run you can essentially run is much quicker. So that's really useful. I already talked about in a different video before how you also in the same process build this specific traveler's bow that we call the Omega bow, a bow that basically allows you to one-shot all of the mini-bosses. So the entire first like hour, even more, of the game is basically running around Hyrule Castle, collecting items, and then setting yourself up this kind of like super file to beat everything quicker, run quicker, get fairies so you can wind bomb everywhere, get a super strong bow so you can one-shot all of the bosses, etc. Once that's finally done, and if you're following the 100% run speedrun yourself, you can technically skip these parts and get these items later by yourself, naturally running around, collecting rush rooms, etc. You basically end up in Hateno, that's where we do the glitch. You upgrade your runes, especially Bombs Plus, which is really powerful for wind bombs, and then you just go and get all of the Koroks you can. While you get the Koroks, it's important that more so early on, you complete some of the Divine Beasts to get the Divine Beast powers and unlock further content in the game. I said before, some shrines in this game technically only become available, like this Sand Seal Shrine, once you've completed the Divine Beast. Eventually, also relatively early on, actually within like the first third, I would say, of the speedrun, you actually go to Hyrule Castle and beat Ganon. This is because in order to actually beat the game, and see that you have gotten 100%, you need to have beaten Ganon. Also, you cannot get the Kilton medals, I already teased, without having beaten Ganon. So Ganon is actually beaten relatively early in 100%. Along the way, you get memories, Koroks, shrines, etc. The one thing that really stands out, that really kind of dictates the 100% speedrun a little bit, is when you do the item duplication, you also specifically duplicate wood. Why would you duplicate wood? It's because you have to cough. No, excuse me. Once again, it's a little bit of lingering cough there from my really bad cold earlier. Oh. For some reason... Okay, I just pressed the wrong button. It's fine. The wind cleaver will be missed. You also get 999 wood because you buy your house right at the start. Also, you do all of the house upgrades, which is really boring to do. You have to unfortunately do all of them. And then the one thing that kind of dictates the 100% speedrun a little bit is that as you go, you want to complete Tarrey Town, obviously. And one of the smartest ways to do that is whenever you are in this area, you talk to Hudson, and then you want to just naturally meet the specific Tarrey Town workers as you explore that area anyway. So before you first go to Eldin to make your way to the Divine Beast here, you already want to have talked to Hudson once, so you can quickly just meet up with Grayson. And the same is true for like Gerudo Town, Hebra, etc. So it's all very intricately and smart, cleverly routed around Tarrey Town and the Divine Beasts and the game progression in general. But for the most part, again, the main idea in 100% is start your game, get a bunch of items to make your file as strong as possible, and then just go ahead and get as many Koroks and shrines as you can. Again, the full speedrun route will be linked in this video's pinned comment. I think that's easier for me to do in retrospective. And if you want to, you can click it. You'll find a link on a website called Seller, which is something the community made specifically for speedrun routes, where you can kind of follow along, and there's like lines showing you the paths that you have to go. But just to make sure that if you're clicking on this document, you want to if you don't want to do the glitches, right?
Rivali's Gale is now ready.
Thank you, Rivali. If you just want to follow along in terms of Korok seeds, right? What you can do is there's like lines on the left side, those lines tell you where you are currently in the route. You can essentially go to line around, yeah, around like 100. You'll see this is when you actually are done with all of the glitchy stuff and start getting Korok seeds. Like literally the first Korok seed that the speedrun collects is in line 111. So if you just follow it from there, you follow it step by step, and you can just run along. Eventually, you will also get to the same result of having all Korok seeds and the map at 100%. You might just have to occasionally go out of your way to collect items like mushrooms and just food in general, because you're going to be taking damage instead. For example, the 100% speedrun also, it doesn't even get this armor that I'm using right now anymore, because there's no real reason. There's no real reason to get cold protection if you essentially have infinite health. Like, yes, you'll be taking damage from the cold, but it doesn't really matter because you have essentially an infinite health pool anyway. And that being said, I kind of wanted to give you a brief introduction, because this unfortunately still was only a brief introduction. Like, keep in mind the run is 15 hours long on the highest level, and I could technically talk through these entire 15 hours and tell you exactly what's going on. I would even have to pause the video sometimes because so many things are going on at the same time. It's ridiculous, but that was kind of like a short explanation of the 100% speedrun. Why it does, and what it even does. And again, this will have a link in a pinned comment with the route itself. If you want to try, follow it along. Obviously, technically, you could also follow along these videos that I'm doing every single day, and you will eventually have the same percentage as I do. We are on 57.65%. I'm going to be making my way down now into the Gerudo Desert, kind of finish up everything on there, get these additional shrines, and probably end up at around 60-ish%, and then continue throughout Hyrule. Keep in mind, 101 days tomorrow until Tears of the Kingdom comes out, so on Tuesday, which is the last day of January, we'll officially be 100 days away from our sequel. Anyway, thank you so much for watching again today. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Have a nice, cozy rest of your weekend, and I will see you tomorrow.